We are live. I'm just gonna sort of ramble a little bit for a second here while I open up the live stream here.
I gotta get that queued up.
Get the chat. I love that I can hear myself through YouTube. That is always super distracting. All right, let's pop out chat. Good to go. All right, welcome to this week's. It's sort of a what the heck, but it's really not. It's more of what the everybody else, because we're doing a highlight reel of this month's Modular, which it's weird to say that. It's a highlight reel of the Modular. There we go. That's what I should have done. And this month had two themes: nature and homemade. If you can't pick out the puns in that, well, you will eventually. I believe in you. All right, let's do super fast intros before I start in. Who are you, and how are you doing? Start with Isaac.
Yeah, I'm Isaac. I'm a guy in a room in Norway doing music once in a while. I'm in holiday mode, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I guess that's me.
Yep.
Yes. I'm Isaac. I am also a guy in a room. It is a different room than Isaac's. And I'm also kind of in holiday mode. No, I've been getting ready to pack up everything, and I'm feeling all right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'm also in a room. I mean, if Schmooster was here, we'd probably have some argument about maybe everything outside of this room is actually the room, and I'm outside of it. But
you're in a sub room.
Yeah. But I'm doing pretty good. I'm also in sort of holiday mode because the last 2.5 weeks have been very tough. I'm all good. It just we're doing a course along with work, and all that stuff. So also our house decided to not have electricity for a while, which is really fun. Yeah. What the Room. Yeah, that's the new show. Welcome to What the Room. Today, guess what we're
Guess
going to be talking about.
we've got Timmy Wiseau.
Timmy Wizzo's What the Room, and what we got up here, look at this room. It's got like a thing coming down from the ceiling, like a little bit on some of the room, but not the rest of the room. It's gonna be a good room talk. All right.
There's never been a lower barrier for entrance to any show. Do you have a room? You're in.
Don't have a room? Don't worry. You can just comment on our room. We are fully inclusive.
It just looks at like rooms. It's just like a liminal reality TV show.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. I've got to like back out and share my screen.
Forrestine, you beat me to the I am sitting in a room joke. I was gonna make that earlier, and then I forgot.
All right. We're gonna start with Mature. And let's see, who has the highest Mature count? I think Isaac.
Really? Did I
Yeah.
stream more than one Mature? I think I did. Oh, maybe I did two.
You did 2 Matures.
I did.
This is actually a fun one in that, like, we don't have a ton of videos. I think it's something like 14 total, combining both Mature and homemade. So we can, like, do them all.
Yeah, no, totally.
So let me share my screen. I'm just, like, talking out loud because I don't know what else to do.
No, I will say at least one of my Mature patches. I mean, you could say technically I did 3 because I would consider the live set I did. I did my first live set this last month ever in the meat space, and that was basically a Mature patch, and I forget if I did a Mature if I streamed that particular patch to EMS. I know at least Enthusiastic Electrons tuned in to the event I did, but it was like rain and bird song and stuff. But yeah, and then we've got this patch, which I can give patch notes for, maybe. Not sure.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna jump in around here.
It's like 48 minutes long. Wow. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I've listened to all of these while I was working, but there's so for me they slowly evolve over time. All of these pretty much do. So it wasn't like, oh, we gotta cut in at 8 minutes and 23 seconds where there's a really sick build up and a drop or whatever. It's just like all really pleasant to listen to. So here we go. Let me know if we have sound, by the way.
We do.
Yep.
And those listening online, you are like our main mixer commanders. If I need to turn the volume of the stream up or us down, let me know.
This got a really nice sort of cinematic vibe to it.
Yeah.
I could
I
see
like
that.
doing that with my drones, kind of just like.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a movie that started on a boat. How's that vibe?
I think that main thing is I used a lot of telharmonic. I know, because I always use a lot of telharmonic. But I think that is a chord from the telharmonic you're hearing, just the. Yeah. And then it's a lot of noise from everywhere. I have a lot of noise sources in my rack. I really like noise.
My favorite thing about this one is the little organic clips and plops.
Yeah.
It's the main reason I got the first soft pop is because those sounds are just, I don't know, they're natural, they're organic, but they're also not like like nothing in nature really sounds like that. It's cool.
Bonus points if you can guess the module there, because it's one of two things.
Let me listen for a second. Everyone watching, you also should guess, so I'm going to give it some time. I'm also not going to cheat and look at your setup, Isaac, because I don't actually remember all of the modules you have.
I have a couple modules. Several.
Yeah.
I will say another thing is whenever I do like noise or kind of drone patches like this, I tend to kind of go like I'm very much a maximalist. Like if it's something like techno or house or something like that, I like to stay sort of minimal. Like I'll use the modular for effects processing and kind of mixing and mastering, but everything else will be kind of like hard, like standalone. But when I want to do something like this is where modular really shines because you can kind of have everything modulating everything. You can have really slow, subtle modulation on just wiggling a little bit of everything.
Archaic Electro has guessed the 4MS Reason?
I believe if Archaic Electro is referring to what I think they are, then I believe they are correct. It is the spectral multiband resonator.
Oh.
The SMR. Which is kind of my secret weapon for ambient.
I was gonna guess maths because it just sounds like there's little, I don't know, maths envelopes happening.
What's happening is there's a clock divider that is sending out really fast little clocks, and those are going into the level inputs of every band of the spectral multiband resonator. And what that does is it lets you get these little flip-flops, and if it's rotating the notes around, they just kind of randomly. And then I think it's going through a delay as well, a stereo delay.
I was gonna say, I think the stereo is separate, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm using QPass for the stereo send return in that delay, which is doing like phasing through its smile pass output, I believe, which is something I do all the damn time.
Can we talk about how cool stereo filters are?
Stereo filters are the best, man.
Like, especially when they're normal in a way that like takes a mono signal and splits it into a wide field, like the Icary, and like there's so many of them, but I just love them.
Something I really like about how QPass handles stereo/mono filtering is it's QPass stands for Quad Peak Animation System, and it has 4 resonant peaks. And what happens is if you patch 2 of the peaks go to the left channel and 2 of them go to the right channel, and you can rotate them and move them around. But if you just use it as a mono filter, then all 4 of them will be in one channel. But if you use it as a stereo filter, it will break them up into 2, and it will send a mono signal to both.
Cool.
Or each signal. So you can kind of use it like a dual filter if you sweep the rotate. And then it's kind of like almost a dual stereo filter. It's a great module.
That's great. Yeah, that's when I was looking at. I was doing some like, well, how would I improve my current setup, or have the Erica Synths dual VCF, and it happens to be the exact size as the QPass. So that's not something I immediately am thinking about changing to, but it was something
I'd
that
say
I was like,
you should listen to some demos of it. Mylar Melodies has a really good demo. Because the other thing I love about it that's good for these patches is that you can strike it like a bell and it pings excellently. Like it sounds like really good like ambient bell tones.
Cool.
Anyways, that's enough of me.
I'm gonna move on to Forestine.
But this was a really pleasant patch. I really liked sort of it's just very zen-like with all the nature going on around you. I think you hit the theme very well.
I actually had to listen to a few of these more than once because they're so relaxing. I stopped active listening to them.
Just like
I can see that with this one for sure.
Well, that's kind of the point, I think.
Well.
Yeah.
It's ambient in the sense that you can just put it on and like
I
just
got
do something else.
Some work done. It was great.
Nice.
It doesn't require active listening.
Oops.
Oh.
I just wanted to go into like towards the beginning.
Do you want to put it into theater mode so we can see them a little better? On
Yes.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. Yeah, I guess I could have optimized the shape of the screen a little better, but that's okay.
Oh, it's a patchy scratchy.
Oh yeah, this one was. I remember I only managed to catch the beginning of this one, but I really like this.
Because it is a patchy scratchy, I am gonna jump around a little bit because it's fun to hear like the kind of dramatic change over time.
Oh, Forstein, you're in the chat. If you could give us any patch notes, any notes about it that you remember. Interstellar radio that I had made before, but it sounded more spacey. Ah.
You know what? The other day I was on a hike and the frogs were croaking so loudly. I was kicking myself for not bringing a recorder. I need to like charge up my recorder and drop it into my pack, so I just always have it. But they sounded legitimately just like those wood block frogs that you run the stick along the back to
Oh
make.
my god.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
But like in full wide stereo everywhere. It was kind of wild.
Oh, that's great.
And the second I pulled out my phone and hit record, about
They stopped.
4 seconds in, they stopped at the same time.
I meant to go on a hike kind of around here and get some nature sounds for use in either this or live, but I never got around to it with exams and stuff. But I am going to, before I leave, I'm going to go on at least one or two more.
You know what I think would be cool is like just like creating a place I can dump a bunch of samples like that for anybody to use. I don't know the best way to do that, like probably like BitTorrent or something, but yeah.
Back to the Forstein patch.
Yeah. We have Ocean now, or Storm.
You could maybe turn this one up a little bit.
I can't. It's as loud as it goes. Maybe I can in the little share screen thing. Oh yeah, I can. I can reduce it a little bit.
That's... Yeah.
We'll just have to talk extra quiet as if we're on an NPR podcast.
This is Nature Friday? No, not.
There's a lot of subtle things that are starting to happen in this patch.
Mm-hmm.
I like the kind of the swirling of it, you know, it's kind of...
It definitely has this being on the sea kind of feeling. Is that a common thing among all these videos?
Like a rickety, like you're on a boat. It's kind of swaying with the current.
Exactly.
I think sea or wind, depending on like how you first think about it. I don't know. I get a lot of like wind vibes too sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes rain. But look how much the grandmother is doing in this patch.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
I can't tell if those are patch cables stored on the grandmother or if that is actually the grandmother just patched extremely densely.
I think it's a bit of both because you can. I think some of those are unpatched. Like I don't think it has that many patch points over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say
there's other stuff lying on it, I think. But yeah, it's a lot of patches.
Is this where you're creating the frog?
I've run out of surface area. That's a mood. I have all my cables on my couch next to them.
I'm using all the available floor space here.
Oh, and the floor, of course. Everyone has patch cords on the floor.
Yep.
And if they say they don't, they're lying.
Yep.
I mean, I've got some instrument cables for a guitar on the floor, but that's it.
Instrument cables for a guitar are just Cosmo patch cords, heck.
That's true, but they're like in the guitar pedals. There's not like extra ones lying around. Everything is in use. I will say I am very fond of the back of chairs or couches as a patch cable storage solution.
Yep. I use that when I detach. can rhythm here.
I like how immediate it is. Like you can just grab the cable the exact size you need.
What oscillator is doing this crazy space noise for us, Dean? I love it. It looks like it's got like a silver panel. Interstellar radio. Oh, I don't know the interstellar radio.
It's really cool and really weird. Oh, I like that. The harmonics are cool there.
Destructive transmission line. Whoa. Oh, so it's like an analog FM, or kind of like the Mod D mix, a little bit.
Looks like it.
Carrier, modulator, demodulator, error threshold. Schlappy Engineering makes such cool stuff.
Yeah, they do.
I love their aesthetic.
I agree.
The angle grinder looks really cool, but I don't think I'd ever use it.
That's exactly my thoughts on the angle grinder. I think it is super wicked cool, but I haven't heard any demos that made me like have to have it yet. And the 100 grit, which is currently on loan to Bar Talk, we swapped modules for a minute. Its build is really nice. They did a good job. Also, I'm now feeling bad for talking about no patch cables on the ground because I ran out of Eurorack patch cables. If I pan over to my Eurorack a little bit, you'll see. Look at all those. I had to use like my 2-meter cables to go like this far because I'm completely out of cables.
I have to do that all the time.
So there's nothing like on the ground anywhere because I ran out of cables.
I love this patch. I love what's going on with it. Interstellar radio with the carrier and demodulator, which are non-VCO Volper octave pulse oscillators, FM each other. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like analog FM weirdness, which I love.
I really like the non-volt per octave oscillators for percussive isn't the right word, but like ear candy maybe.
Sound effects.
Yeah.
Almost.
Like my current favorite one is the Lucifer by Error. Yeah. And it's a really, really weird one, but it goes from like Morse code sounds to like really like almost like super filtered heavy dark sound. Like it's pretty cool. But definitely not like
per octave.
No, I mean like with the non-volt per octave stuff, you can definitely like rig up like a temporary like acid patch or something by sort of guessing it, but it's not going to be a repeatable thing.
Yeah, well, the thing is, most of those, because the hardest part about volt per octave from a design standpoint is that you need an exponential converter in your circuit, which is the hardest part about making any oscillator. And so not including it is easy.
Yes, and I don't mind that. I think it's nice to have a mix.
Right, I need to build one of those Schmidt trigger oscillators. It's like 6 oscillators in one thing, because those are super easy. Oh wow, that really... Yeah, it's really got the like rain pelting on the side of a window vibe.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Kind of lonely.
Now it's unintended patch.
Oh yeah, it's like 100% rain pelting like a storm door. Like it's...
I love that melody too, that's so pretty.
Yeah, me too. It's got a little bit of Godspeed vibe over it as well.
Yeah.
Delay no more, grinding away on its tail. Ah. It's great. Delays are really good for rain.
Is the delay no more going through a filter as well to get it like a sort of softer? So is it a PT2339?
I think it is.
Delay? So I'm very familiar with the way that sounds when you go with too much time on the delay. Because you can do that with stuff I have, yeah.
Monsoon doing reverb.
Okay. That'll smooth it out nice. It's really convincing. This is cool.
Karaoke chip
it is.
Agony, yes.
That is accurate. It goes from like long delay of about, I don't know, a second or two to like full on. I mean, agony is the best word. I'm not going to replace that. It just gets really...
I have a 2399 pedal I built myself, but it is not operable in Texas. I'll try and fix it maybe this summer.
It's my favorite delay. I mean, yeah. That's so great.
Great stuff.
I would like a ping pong delay. That's just a handful of 2339s.
I've been using ping pong delays all the time recently. It's so good.
Dual looping, what I like even more than ping pong is having delays with subtly different times. So like one going at what, and then the other ear going a little faster, because that makes a huge stereo image, and it's just perfect.
Yeah.
That's my dual looping delay is like my favorite module ever. I would not trade it for the world.
It makes me want to make a second triple splashback because I have one and it is 3 PT2339s with different times on all of them.
But it's mono.
But it's mono, right? So if I had two of those, like, it would be impossible to dial them in the same, but the stereo field you'd get would be probably pretty wild.
Oh yeah, Tim, you definitely have a Mimeathon. What? Are you...
No, Tim sold me the Mimeathon.
Ah, of course.
One on sale.
Just kidding, he'll never sell that.
Oh, do you not have the karaoke chip? Yeah, that's like signature module right there.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, do not have a PT23. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I think we're. Do you want to do your second one?
Sure. I have to go at around half an hour or so.
All good. All good. Does anybody else want to hop in? By the way, we've got
yeah. This is my live rig. This was actually This was a version of my live set.
Hold on, we have to go back for Steve.
Oh, one more sequence. Oh heck.
Flesh husk.
Yeah, it's a great shirt. I was gonna comment on that.
What keyboard is that? It's cool. I like that it lights up when you're typing.
Yeah.
Is that not a thing you can just do in like QMK or whatever?
Depends on whether you have lights or not in the keyboard. I have one of those and I tend to disable it because I find it annoying when I actually type. It looks cool.
I'll build a fancy mechanical keyboard sometime. I will. I gotta join the cool kids club.
I just built a second one. Looks identical to the one I already have, but I have a purpose for it soon related to Cosmo.
Ooh.
I kind of want to build a MIDI keyboard into a mechanical keyboard, but I don't know where to start. It's easy to get the parts for the mechanical keyboard, but the actual piano keys and controller, I don't know.
I've seen people do that with ortholinear boards where they're like the grid ones, and then they'll put like bass tabs on it so you can play it kind of like a guitar. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think
like what Heck is probably planning.
No, that's not. But I should do a mode. I'm gonna dive deeper into QMK and figure out how hard it is to set up MIDI commands because I would like.
But that's super easy. QMK has a MIDI MIDI library.
Oh, that's awesome.
But there's no velocity sensitivity or anything like that.
That's great. Velocity sensitivity was almost as big of a mistake as computers.
Okay, patch notes for this. So that like weird raspy thing you just heard is the 2 HP freeze, which everything's going through. I'm doing the filter phaser trick going into the dual looping delay. And it's chord organ, telharmonic, and the 2 HP oscillator all kind of blipping away. And they all have the same sequence, but they're being triggered at different times. So it kind of sounds like there's more things going on than there actually is.
Yeah.
Can I just say I like your stream flare?
Yes.
I think you are doing. I might be misremembering because it's been a long month for me. But didn't you have the plants there before the nature theme?
Yeah, no, I always have the plants. The plants there are constant. For Drone Day, I added cicadas to the plants, so there were more bugs.
Nice.
And I kind of want to keep them there because they're sort of cute. I might replace them with some other bugs because I have butterflies as well. But
now that's a theme I can get behind. I'm a big fan of cicadas and cicada rhythms or patterns.
Oh yeah. So.
Well, it's a really interesting bug, and it's a really. If you look at their example, which I'll talk about in a second, they're a really easy way to make something feel or look random without having the ability to do actual random, which was a limitation on some web stuff I worked on. So that's where I learned about a lot of this. But cicadas, when they emerge on primary number of primary. They emerge every certain amount of years, and it's usually a primary number. And the reason it's important that it's a primary number is that it takes longer for primary numbers to overlap. That way, they don't all emerge at the same time and essentially eat everything and go extinct, right?
Oh, wait, so you'll like sync web stuff to cicada emerging dates?
Well, hold on. So they'll come out like every 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, and I think they go longer. But the idea is it takes a long time for those numbers to actually overlap at the same time. Now, if you apply that to like a repeating background, like if I'm making a background image with CSS and I want it to appear random, I essentially apply it every 3, every 5, every 9 a different image, and then it comes into this really hard for a human to recognize pattern that looks random. So
that's really interesting.
I think the same thing could be applied to music. I haven't tried that, where you make like a 3-bar loop and a 5-bar loop and a 9-bar loop, and it's all
phase.
Yeah. What is it?
Polyrhythms.
It's not a polyrhythm. It's a polymeter, right?
Yeah. Polymeter. That's it. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of doing something like this. So what I'm doing here is you'll notice there's that A160, the clock divider on the top there. And that lets you it has different modes, so you can have it do 1 through 8, 2 through like 128, and then prime numbers. But what's happening is each output's like a clock that goes to, and it's triggered by the master clock, and each of those goes to the per call, so it fires off, so like 1 every 3, and then 1 will go every 5, and then 1 will go every 6, and so they kind of phase in and out the rhythm of it, but because it's so slow, it sort of sounds a little random. And I love using that clock divider like that. It's really helpful if you have odd numbered weird divisions. If you're buying a clock divider, buy one with a shit ton of outputs like the A160. It's a great unit.
I would second that. If you need it, right? Like if you're a mini
I think
nerd
everyone
like
needs a
me,
clock divider.
You don't need a clock divider.
Sure.
For both percussion and melody, yeah. I don't have a proper percussion sequencer in Eurorack, and so the clock divider is mine. Though I did just buy an Ornament in Crime, and I think there's like a grids port onto that.
There is,
So,
yeah.
yeah. I think, yeah, Benny Rose has some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
Cool. I like.
Yeah. It's very wide stereo-wise. I love stereo width. I've been
I
considering
kind of
buying.
go back and listen to this with physical speakers.
Yeah.
Because with
It's
headphones,
different.
you don't really get the phase cancellation bits, and I always I'm just curious because sometimes things sound really interesting, just like moving your head around.
Well, I'll say this was completely done on headphones because I don't have monitors. Ignore the monitor right there.
No judgment. I almost never
Yeah.
use my monitors, so it's yeah.
No, I kind of regret I bought the cheapest monitors I could get. They work okay, but I mean...
I'm borrowing a
Second pulse is
friend's Atom like A5Rs or something that are pretty fancy. And I use these for drone day and a couple streams, and they're just so fucking nice, man. I really need to buy some speakers.
Yeah.
I still like my headphones though I'm starting to question their fidelity when it translates into anything played on speakers. Like if I'm listening on headphones, I think they sound pretty good most of the time, but like when I blast them on the speakers, which I've been testing more and more recently, like, oh, I gotta drop my highs a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely. Forrestine, I feel you on the headphones hurting your jaw thing. That happens to me a lot. I have to take breaks, especially with these. These are noise canceling. These poor Sennheisers I've had for years. I think I'm gonna replace them with like Sony MDRs or something that are like way more comfortable because these grip my head way too hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that MDRs are comfortable, but if you want comfortable headphones, you cannot like. Of the ones I've tried, AKG is the best. I can wear those for 6 to 9 hours. And
these biodynamics are pretty nice as well.
I've not tried
Are they
those.
open back?
Which
who are you asking?
Heck, are the AKGs that you use open back?
They're open back, which I really like because for two reasons. I mean, it does give you a little bit wider of a field. It's a little bit unnatural. But I like that I can continually check to monitor that my headphone volume isn't too loud. I'll just like do a couple snaps. And, that gives me a good indication of how loud they are because sometimes you just don't notice as the volume creeps up. So that if my snaps get duller, turn them on.
These are like Sennheiser HD 280s or something, and they have like a minus 38 decibel passive noise cancellation just because of how they cup your head. And it's actually really annoying because even talking now, I've gotten used to it, but when I first got them, I couldn't wear them on a phone call or something because like the way that it cancels your own voice is really annoying.
I get used to it, I think.
And then also
these
like,
do it as well. These are close back. But yeah, it's a weird feeling taking like one cup off and hearing what you actually sound like.
Or just like someone will knock on my door and they'll have to like open up the door and say like, "Hey," before I'm like, "Huh?" Like, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Send me a link to the headphones you have, Heck, by the way.
I will. What was I gonna say? Oh, these have all been really pleasant so far. I feel like I watched some Star Wars last night, so that's on my mind, but I feel like this is like all light side of the Force, one with nature, really balanced. We're about to go over to the dark side here in a second.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Enter Egon.
The visuals are really cool.
Sith Lord.
love the weird dripping animation thing.
Yeah.
It's very like Halloween.
Headphones are interesting. Like headphones and a couple other things are like they're one of those items I wish I could just like test out for like an hour and a half. Like that's what I need to know if it's going to be comfortable or not. Like these are the Audio Technica like MDX50 or whatever the common ones are. They hurt after like an hour.
Crazy.
Just got so wide.
This is great.
Decades and places.
I totally agree with Forstin as well. I mean, this could have gone for Drone Day as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this is totally Cauldron of Bats. Shout out. This is the vibe of the meal. Everyone's like, yeah. So
sure.
Oh, it's so menacing.
Almost like, yeah. Oh, I love that. The like almost zipper.
Forrest, I think you mentioned drone and nature are very like two sides of a coin, you know, or even the same coin.
I particularly think that's true when we're talking about like a lot of styles of music, like anything that has an instrument with like that people use circular breathing to play or anything like that gets used that drum.
A lot of I used to be really into recorder, like Renaissance recorder music, and recorder ensembles have different size recorders, so they go up to like these huge bass and contrabass ones, and then down to like the soprano and sopranino. A lot of like, especially in like old Bach pieces where you have like a quartet, there's a lot of just really large, long bass drums that things play over, which is it's something that I kind of translate to a lot of my music. I love having like a long drum and just.
I wonder what like the longest drone, like breath-powered drone is. Like, what's the longest somebody's gone on like a contra bass or something?
Yeah. It's always interesting. There's so many huge like bass instruments, of like instruments you never expect. Like Andrew Osler, who runs Expert Sleepers, he plays the bass clarinet, which is an insane sounding instrument. And so when he plays live, and I've seen it in person, it's just like it's massive. And he'll just like set it up and just be like, and then like loop that over like 20 times and some shit, and then. His whole setup's crazy. It's like a pedal board and then like 8 Disney EXs in a row. Yeah. It's really funny.
I remember seeing that.
You called it the voice of sorry, I'm just reading through the chat.
Yeah.
The voice of God. Wonderful.
It's pretty presumptuous, I think.
A bit, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of got like a do not fear child kind of thing going on, you know?
Got a crunchy filter, sweet.
Oh yeah.
Unstable.
Oh, I love it.
It's been resolved.
Oh, what's that bell sound?
That's awesome.
Oh, Tim's sister has played bass clarinet, huh? That's awesome. It's such a cool instrument. Bass flute as well. Beautiful.
I think a lot of people play weird instruments, get started the same way. Like the school had one and they needed a volunteer to play it. I mean, there's a lot of instruments. You kind of think, how the heck did you start to play that?
Alright, continuing on to the dark side. Archaic electro, here we go.
I like the doubled up major.
And for anyone watching this later, I don't know if I told you, there's if you go to the Earth Modular YouTube page, there's a playlist with both homemade and, well, there's two playlists, a homemade playlist and a nature playlist where you can watch all of these in full, and I recommend just like hitting play all and getting some stuff done or just relaxing.
Another very menacing one. I like it. Again, very drony. A lot of them are very drony.
Archaic Electro also really nailing these sounds, like not unfamiliar territory.
Oh, if you're in the chat right now, Archaic Electro, I thought I saw you earlier. Patch notes. Appreciate it.
Yeah, let's see.
It is like a cave. Caves are nature.
Yeah. Let's see, participants. Oh, I think Archaic dropped. That's okay.
You can see participants on the stream.
Yeah,
Kinda
you
sounds
click
like
the three-dot menu at the top of the chat box, and then
right.
click
Oh
participants.
wow, there you go.
I learned something new today.
Interesting.
Oh, he's in now.
Oh!
You're hearing the sound.
Archaic Electro, patch note, please. Yeah.
Or stay mysterious. Underwater cave, serious business. Absolutely. There's an underwater cave in Texas called Jacob's Well. It's this really beautiful swimming hole that's completely clear. And it goes down extremely deep, and there's a cave at the bottom of it. And lots of divers have died. They now have it barred with like a symbol of like a skull and crossbones over it. So that even if you were to dive all the way down, you couldn't get in.
I've been like cave snorkeling, which isn't quite the same. And it's kind of a magical experience as long as you're with a group of people and one of those people knows really what they're doing.
Yeah, I bet.
But one of the magical things about it is when you've got your headlamps on and you're underwater, like you get beautiful views. But the coolest thing I thought was when everybody got out of the water, like you're still in the cave and like you've gone through a few things, so there's no natural light from outside. And then everybody gets up on sort of like a little piece of land. When all of their lamps are up, above the water turns into a perfect mirror.
Oh my god.
Which is pretty mind-bending.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I had some thoughts about like, well, if the guy got knocked unconscious, none of us would be able to get out of here.
Yeah, if you've ever played Subnautica, the game Subnautica.
It's really hard, like, because I've not spent much time in caves. I don't really know how to wayfind in caves necessarily, so like about halfway in I was like, probably should have been paying more attention to like some of these stalactites and stalagmites to figure out where I am.
I used to do a lot of caving as I was a kid. When I was little, I did like one of those, we did one of the kind of wild tour things where they just kind of took us off because you know, if you're like in a cave, it'll have like a path that you go down and it's got like lights and everything, and this was the kind of thing where they had a little hole in the side with some water, and it was like, all right, crawl in there.
Yeah.
We spent like 4 hours in the cave, which is a magical experience, but now I think I am far too claustrophobic to do it again.
Yeah.
I was tiny, so like,
and
I think
that's
I was more okay
fair.
with it. You know? But I love caves. I've always been a big rock hound and stuff. Also, just a note, Archaic Electro has commented, there are samples of a horse, chicken, rooster, and a mouse being manipulated in this. Which I'm guessing are being stretched or pitched.
If you look really close, you can almost hear the horse, chicken, rooster. No, you can't. This is awesome. This is cool.
Yeah. I should have thought to make some kind of cavey music. I totally didn't come to mind.
Are you using a granular processor of some sort to mangle the sounds, or a reverb or something.
Or even like spring reverb, maybe? I hear almost kind of a twangy sort of.
Could be right, yeah.
Nebula Lubad, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Spelunk would be a good name for a module. That is a great idea. Oh my god, I'm stealing that. Absolutely. Oh. If I ever make a reverb, it'll be called Spelunk.
I've lost track of how long we've been playing this.
Yeah, it's kind of
It's
the problem with this
hypnotizing.
playlist. It's so calm and meditative, so we just keep losing track of time.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
Hey, there's He's incredible. Is that from today? No. All right. Let me know if you would like me to start at a different time. I really like these
Yes.
visuals, by the way.
Oh, I hear the bird sounds. Improbable Safari, if you are in chat, please feel free to give patch notes. I think I saw you a little earlier.
What currently, I think?
I love those bird noises. They're like, I'm trying to think of the bird.
Seagulls.
Seagulls, maybe.
Oh, Improbable
Samples
Safari
of
is in the
dawn
chat.
chorus. Yes, a dawn chorus. Uh-huh. Nice.
No, not a seagull.
When birds wake up. Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Oh, nice. Slowed way down. Samples slowed down always sounds fantastic.
It's always a great, especially if it's like a tape slowdown,
Yeah.
where it like gets the pitch and it's smooth. Morning doves. Yeah, that's it. That's the one I'm thinking of, I think.
Ooh.
Sounding like owls, yeah. Is there a Boards of Canada song called Dawn Chorus? That sounds exactly like it. That sounds like it would be a Boards of Canada song.
Yeah. I agree.
This definitely has kind of Boards of Canada vibes. I mean,
It's
everything
like-
here sort of does.
It's this one's like a nice balance. Like it's got some really nice like lighter feeling stuff, and then it gets a little heavy here and there.
I like how just absolutely very slow it is. It's great.
This is really pleasant.
Of the heron colony at my cabin. Ah. I can hear a little bit of stereo stuff with the samples almost. Ooh. FM. Ooh. Lots of Starlab, yeah.
How do you like your Star Lab?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Starlab is a wild little box.
Yeah.
Though I haven't seen as many people using it as I have seen the Magneto.
I've seen folks migrating back towards the Magneto a little bit.
Starlab, it's basically just a really crazy pedal, yeah? Like a crazy...
I'd say both of them are, yeah.
I mean, it looks like a pedal. I like the amount of I/O on it actually. I'm looking at like a lot
Side
of CV.
Sidechain into the safety valve. I still have not finished the safety valve, though I have it ready to finish. I just haven't had time yet.
Out of the DLD into QPass into Star Lab. Yes, you have my respect. That is the best.
All you gotta do is say QPass.
If you say QPass and DLD together, like I'm happy. Like, cause that's like my signature thing.
Triple sloss and oct, nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible how popular Oct actually is, considering how simple a module it is.
I mean, it's just so good.
It is.
Like,
but it's also sort of hard to pinpoint why it's so good, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of LFOs that are sort of seemingly randomly tuned.
Yeah, it's kind of originally, it's sort of, I think, initially based on like I have the North Coast synthesis, the fixed sign bank, which is basically the same thing, but you can't adjust the rate. And so it's 8 LFOs that are just free running and that are not interrelated at all. But the difference with Oct is that you can control the range of them, which is just
actually a
magical.
CV in as well.
Right, and I find that most patches, if you're into modulation, can use like a pretty fast, maybe almost audio rate, or even audio rate if you're into that sort of thing. There's a very specific rate that I really like for sort of leads for pitch bending that just sounds very vocal singing, like it has a like almost like how you move your hand a little bit on a theremin or something.
Yeah. A vibrato.
And then the slower range for slower changes. So like it has all of that in one go.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be like when you have the speed knob in the center, the fastest one is supposed to be vibrato rate.
And then your slowest one can be like really, really slow, like a filter opening up or something.
Yeah.
Oct rates are related. I think they're vaguely related, but they're not like strictly like clock divided of each other, I believe.
Yeah. That sounds right.
They're kind of, yeah. It's a really cool module, and I really should just buy one. I'm gonna sell, I think, my fixed sign bank and buy one, because the fixed sign bank is weirdly enough more expensive and larger than the Oct. So.
Before I move on to the next one, Improbable, is there any section you would like me to move to? We've gotten a good fair amount in this one, actually. Just let me know. I'll wait 20 seconds, and then it's on to Enthusiastic Electrons for the Mature finale, and then we'll move over to Homemade. Some of the homemades will go pretty fast. I'm not going to do very long segments on the solder streams. Not that they're bad. I highly recommend listening to those while you work on something. Just like I don't know what like a highlight reel on a solder stream is. I'll probably show a big segment of me burning my finger. Yeah, I'll cut around a little bit. You know.
Yeah, we got to do more solder streams. Enthusiastic Electrons and I were talking about, we both have purchased the same surface mount ornament and crime kit, and so we're thinking about maybe doing some kind of split screen, like dual stream for that.
I am happy to host that. Like Restream makes that really easily.
That might be really fun, honestly. Just because I'll be back at my soldering station this summer.
Then I'll just turn off my video like this. So it'll just be you two, and I'll just listen.
I love this. It's kind of tropical.
I love when Enthusiastic shows up with the ultra minimal setup.
Yeah,
it's great. It's always I love the tiny boxes, man. They're so cool. They're absolutely the best.
And yeah, I haven't seen.
I kind of always feel a little bit stupid when I see patches like that, sort of big, huge patches on almost no equipment. and I look
Yeah.
over to my side of
You're
the
like
rack, and
maximal
it's just,
setup, and you're like,
I'm using all the patch cables, and I have trouble because I've bundled too many patch cables together and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I make worse things on my big rig that like
Yeah.
2 rails between 2 blocks. That's all you need, man, for a case.
heck yeah.
I love the set dressing too. All the flowers and stuff around.
And the power supply.
The power supply, the frequency set, or that's the AI synthesis power supply.
Yeah.
That it's the same design as the frequency central ones. They're actually the exact same.
Well, I don't think there's a
Basically.
lot of, yeah, I think they're pretty much all the same design.
Well,
Some
weirdly,
have a few extra like caps.
yeah. Design-wise, weirdly, they're kind of the most basic, like low-cost one you can do, where it's just it takes a really high voltage regulator thing, and then it just regulates it down with 2 12-volt regulators.
Oh, the rose stabbed you. I'm gonna turn it back up a little bit.
Mm.
The birds calm down. The rose stabbed you. That's no good. Do we need to cut to that? Like, is there? If I cut over here, is there going to be like blood all over the
Do
Vulcan
we need
drum?
are we gonna be censored by YouTube for sensitive content?
Please don't hurt yourself on video. Although I am going to show me hurting myself on video.
The only things allowed are like solder burns. Those are okay.
Well, yeah, I hit it really well. I definitely had like. I'll wait. Good.
I've definitely seared off my fingertips more than once.
Well, I just love it when you have like the next day you like look at your finger and there's like a perfect
like little smooth area.
resistor like
Oh.
shape in your finger.
Yes, I've seen. Yeah, totally. With me, it's I'll find surface mount parts places they're not supposed to be. I found them in my bed before. So you like look, it's like, oh shit, that's a resistor. It's like, oh god.
Oh, I like this. Stereo dipole, mimeophone, and
No
then
fingerprint split.
an LFO of some sort.
The fingerprints thing reminds me of I just watched Men in Black again the other night. And it's the part where he has to sear off his fingertips on like the orb. It's like
What enthusiastic, what exactly is the drum doing? Is it just the clock? I can't really tell.
It writes the crickets and frogs are sounds I programmed on the analog Volca drum, so...
okay. And then I guess those are going through the stereo dipole, which is making all the weird like
Yeah, that would do
loops of different lengths, primes, of
Right.
course. Wonderful.
it. Heck yeah. Cicada rhythms.
Oh my god, the stereo imaging in this is incredible. I can hear like things up there and then things down there and things behind me.
Oh, a frog.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I've been wanting to play with one of the mid-side kind of processor modules. Now that there's kind of more of them out there.
I don't actually even know what that means. Like,
It's like it's like if you've ever heard the term super stereo, where you hear something in stereo and then you hear it where it's wider than stereo by varying the phase. It's kind of really weird conceptually stuff.
Yeah.
But it can make some really incredible results where like that's how that one the Warn the soundstage module works, or the Jumble Henge from ALM, where you can be like, this is at the front of the room, this isn't behind me, and like when you plug it in you hear it like that because it's you doing mid-side processing. It has to do with like spectral filters and shit. It's weird. But there are more modules like that kind of coming out, and I've wanted to mess with them because it's really cool. The idea of like actually physically placing your things in like a sound stage.
yeah.
A space. Yeah.
I mean, talk about cool future stuff. I'm trying to remember if like the new AirPods or like there's a handful of headphones that are out that have an idea of where your head is, and based on like where you turn your head, you get like
most of the new Apple stuff has that.
Wow.
I find it mostly annoying because it sometimes it tracks where my phone is in relation to my headphones, and sometimes it's my pocket. So I don't want all my sound to come like from this place.
Right.
Yeah, that's weird.
So that is a little weird, but I'm feeling like that's gonna be like, if it isn't already, like the quad. What do they call it?
Quadraphonic, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speaker. Like it's the newest version of something like that, where you have like more of a 3D space to move around and listen and compose in.
Yeah, there's been it's also one of those things of kind of more mixing and mastering tools being brought into, because mid-side processing is anyone who is an audio engineer or like does like mixing and mastering is well familiar with like mid-side processing and stuff like that, because it's necessary for that kind of thing. But it's also like, kind
Yeah.
of wild.
All right.
It's been a thing for ages, really.
Yeah, it's just getting into Eurorack now.
Yeah.
There was a wonderful pianist who sat around in Copenhagen on just the streets and had his own like big piano. He rolled around the city, and he sold these surround headphones as well as being an amazing pianist. It was pretty weird, but it had like a band all the way around the head, and I think it sort of projected the sound somehow into your ears from there.
So I am going to go through some of the Sato streams. Like there is some cool stuff. In particular, I really like seeing how people do things. Needless has all of these first layers of components laid out really nicely.
Yeah, it's very organized.
Versus me running across the room every time I need a resistor or something. I also liked that. I'm not sure. I think it's somewhere around here. Maybe I went too far. Yeah, here we go. Checking the resistance of the resistors on there. That's always, I think, pretty good to do, especially if it's like a new batch. Usually the batch is pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking notes here.
Yes, definitely use a multimeter.
Yeah, one of my least favorite, but also it's my least favorite, one of my least favorite projects, but also like the most I learned a lot from was there's that like DS whatever 130 oscilloscope project or whatever it is. I forget the number. There's like a DIY oscilloscope. Yeah, the 138 that you can get from any number of people for like 20 to 30 bucks or something, maybe even less. And it just comes in like a bag with nothing labeled. Like all the resistors are just loose and thrown in there. And that was the first project I'd ever done where I genuinely had no idea what resistor was which. And they're blue resistors, which I have the hardest time looking at the resistor chart and working out the resistance with. Just
I don't even bother with the chart. The chart's
it's just faster with the multimeter, I think. So like once you get the hang of it, you can really quickly zoom in on what's what.
I recently got a new fancy multimeter. That is this thing. Oh. It's a multimeter, if you'll believe it. Boy, I've dropped it. I won it in a giveaway, but it like folds out and has little probes, and then it connects Bluetooth to your phone, and then it gives you like a nice Bluetooth readout. It's also a one-shot oscilloscope, but it's just one shot, so it's not that helpful.
Yeah, that's really cool though. I've just been using an older like SparkFun multimeter.
Yeah.
And the house came with probably a nicer one, but I just used to the SparkFun one. Like I've used the SparkFun one so much it like broke, and I took it apart and used it to fix itself, and then put it back together.
That's great. Yeah, no. Multimeters is kind of like whatever works. It's like I didn't have one. Actually, I did have one. Kyle actually gave me an old one he has that I've got lying around here as well. If I want like a full size thing, because the probes on that are nice, but they're really tiny. And also, it doesn't do like weird features it has missing. Like you can't do capacitance unless you have the pro version.
Yeah, I would like to actually invest in a nicer multimeter that can do things like capacitance and stuff like that. But I wanted to jump ahead to like the populated bit because you can see again, Needless has done such a good job. And one of the things that I also do is I don't even touch the ICs until everything is basically done. I won't put them in there. I will put the sockets in, but
yeah. I do that as well. I just kind of, yeah, I don't, ICs are always the very last step for me. Also, I always tend to do my order of operations a little differently. Like whenever I do my standoffs, I'll screw both boards together first. When you're doing the header pins between boards, I will screw both boards together with the standoffs and all that, and then I'll solder them on both sides at the same time, so it's all perfectly straight.
Yeah, I mean, I do that too. Like anything that bolts on the front panel, so toggles, uh, jacks, sockets, anything like that, I will bolt those fully on um, before soldering them, make sure everything is like nice and lined up. But one of the cool things happening here, and you'll sort of figure out your own tricks for this sort of thing, is like when there's stuff on one side of the panel, sometimes if that panel is just flat on your mat or whatever you've got, when you go to solder it, it's like rocking around, which makes it really hard, especially for smaller boards. So something like this will keep it in place, and that's just like I think a little wristband, one of those like rubber wristbands that you can get.
Bracelet from a Bad Religion show, according to Forstin.
It looks like it. That's so awesome.
I've seen there's those really fancy PCB vices you can get as well that are pretty nice too.
Yeah, I don't have one of those. Those would be cool.
I've been looking at there's the one like just solid aluminum chunk that just screws down. It's just like a cylinder, and it just looks like the most overkill stupid tool ever, and I want it.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's move on.
Yes.
Also, good nail polish color, especially on that background.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Love the color.
I feel that everybody who does a stream where the hands are mostly going to be in focus put on some nail polish. It's awesome.
All right, let's see. I think
he's using a pan of ice, but it's holding his phone. Oh wow!
And I think
this is going to be confusing because I'm talking while I'm talking.
Safety valve.
I'll use the rainbow cables.
I make all my own cables, and
oh
they're done wrong, but whatever. They're all consistent.
Tight.
What? So your red stripe isn't your red stripe?
It's the black stripe because I didn't think the brown stripe made sense as a red stripe naively.
That's kind of fair. The endorphin stuff uses the brown stripe. As I remember Kyle telling me that it kind of pissed him off because it's like endorphins using the brown stripe is not standard and it's annoying.
Yeah, it gets real hot.
Hold on. And that's where I put a nice resistor fingerprint in my finger. Like, okay, that's hot. So this was a lesson to me in like checking the pin out on compatible parts before I sacrifice a few resistors. But I have the right part, I think. I just need to put it in and test it. Anyway, that was the highlight of my stream there.
We've got another one
what
coming
this stream
up there.
is. I haven't clicked on it yet. I forget what this one is. Oh, this is the bounce. That one worked perfectly. So let's just cut to the finale.
You have the exact same little socket I do.
I don't think it's gonna make noise tonight.
Or maybe it's a little bigger.
I have some homework to do. I really need to plan out my.
I love those panels for the look bump no computer.
Me too.
Yeah.
I like the backs too. There's also cool artwork on the backs.
Yeah, this feels like a fun one to really modulate, like, and get some really cool. I don't know if you.
All right.
I was gonna maybe. I was looking at the look bump no computer kits because I'm foolishly having visions of Cosmo.
I mean, I know you really like. Actually, that would be kind of hilarious. Like, I know you like 1U, but Cosmo's pretty fun. I'm just picturing like Cosmo next to like a Cosmo-sized 1U only box.
Oh, that'd be great.
As big as possible. If it was small, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it'd be fun if I had more room lying around. I'd totally do it. He also needs to get when he gets back his oscillator and like stuff back in the VCA and stuff back in stock because they're not in stock.
Yeah. Those. I mean, I can let you know when they're back in stock because he'll talk about it on the forums. But some of the parts are hard to get a hold of right now. And he
Really,
provides
parts?
those in those kits. Yeah.
Like what, the weird electric druid ICs and stuff?
Well, no, the electric druid ones, I think they're okay. There's another one that I think he was talking about that's also in there that I think.
Anyways,
but
we should talk about this crazy
Yeah.
enthusiastic electrons patch. I love this.
Yeah.
With all the AI synthesis stuff. It's just the harmonic mixer is the new thing here, I think.
Yeah, so we are in the homemade section, so there's a lot going on here that is homemade. Like all of these modules are things that Enthusiastic Electrons has put together, along with the case. Like it's a really nice sort of case. So I'm not sure if you did the power supply or not, but you're using a mass, immediately doesn't count. Just kidding.
It's great. Someone needs to make it. I guess Rampage is a DIY maths. Fresh off the bench harmonic mixer test. Yes, I guessed right. The harmonic mixer looks like a lot of fun. It kind of pisses me off though because I have his original mixer, and so like I feel cheated because it's exactly the same size.
I also really like your like I forget what it's called, your label maker tape label for your stream. That's really good, and I wish I had thought of that.
I have that label. I have those labels on my. I think it's on my Volca actually.
I use them to label my liquor.
Oh yeah, there you go. It's got my email. It's funny. No one email me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, those label makers are great. They're kind of tedious if you use one of the like cheap ones, but like they're fun.
Yeah, I have like the bottom dollar one that everybody else
It's like
gets.
a dial, and you just like and then you go.
I kind of like it. It just is super unsatisfying. Like it feels like it's gonna break every time you use it.
Yeah, definitely. But the result's so cool, so it's like whatever. Oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the Cobalt Dream, the labels on this are all those kinds of labels.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna change the camera to maximize you temporarily.
Yeah,
so.
these are all. This is if we're talking homemade.
Yeah.
All of the labels on here are those.
Is there anything that has them like what has a more homemade vibe than like a clear case where you can kind of see the guts and then like
this is just like a Tupperware, it's like a box
haphazardly applied.
There's cardboard
like,
inside
awesome.
of here.
Oh yeah.
If this guy's a little broken right now. It kind of might stay that way. It's sort of a nice little piece as it is, but I will finish it with the PCB and all that someday.
All right, I'm gonna cut ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ooh. I love that. It jammed when I was labeling my computer, so I have a bin of pots and jacks and witches. It's even better. You can pencil it in with a little silver Sharpie or switches.
I should have used it to label my components. I use masking tape, but I have a label maker. Let's make them cool. I should do that. All right, we're almost at the end here. I think just a couple more. So I'm gonna move to the next one. An improbable. I haven't seen your most recent one, so if you're on, let me know around what time to jump in. I do have it on the list.
Also good.
So what's the new? Is there a new thing being shown off here, or is it homemade modules again, or what's the concept?
Yeah, we're doing testing today.
If I can guess, I think there's a third AI oscillator in here. Just looking at it, that blank panel looks like it's been filled out. If you look kind of in the center there.
Yeah.
but I could be wrong.
And
It would
Tim,
be CO, yeah.
this is a, I don't know, all DIY mono synth. Is that maths plugged in? I'm just who cares? It's enough homemade.
How do you know that Tim didn't solder that math together himself?
I don't.
Also,
Sorry,
I mean, you have to have a math to do Eurorack. I don't, so I'm not doing Eurorack currently. But
You're
I've heard it's
officially,
mandatory.
yeah, you're officially a fake modular person.
Well, I have rings into clouds once in a while, so I guess.
Okay, that works. I don't have a rings or a cloud, so I should
The
really
only-
just.
Yeah, I only have ears. I don't have any mutable instruments, but I really want to braids. But I feel like with mutable, I think their second or third announcement that they're shutting down.
Yeah.
Braids are kind of hard to find at the moment.
Well,
And-
braids have been discontinued for a while.
Yeah, but people like bought them all up recently.
Ugh.
Any of the remaining ones.
Yeah, they've become collector's items now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I
you
mean-
can DIY a braids. There's
Well,
no shame in that.
People are
I do want an OG one, partly for sentimental and partly because I have a Cosmo panel that will fit it.
I want an OG. I really want an OG mutable module, but I have no budget right now for stuff. But I would buy a beads like right now. But
Yeah.
if anyone wants to fund a beads, I'll sell you some analog systems modules.
All right, let's move on to the last bit. It sounds like
Final one.
1248 is where the crash is, so start around 1220.
Flow itself into the larger.
I was here for this stream.
Gosh, that makes it look so much easier than what I have to do.
What's next? Move this
Oh
up
yeah,
again.
this.
I think we're just down here at these last four. Lock is down here.
No. No.
What am
They
I
just want to be
See what-
friends.
You are essentially just blow drying.
Yeah.
um,
And to be
thinking
clear,
eventually.
for those of you not
David?
familiar, this is super zoomed in. That like it looks like the hand is shaking, but that's just how it is when
It's
you're
just
looking
so
at
tiny.
small. Yeah.
Man, that stressed me so much.
But see, the reflow just makes it all better automatically.
Boom. Everything sucks right up onto the pads and metal parts.
They all just
Yeah,
like
even
with
get
the
online.
They cite themselves with a little bit of prompting and a little bit of finesse.
I'm
from
gonna have to get one of those
hot air
at some
gun.
point. But thankfully, Cosmo doesn't
Thing
have
with
too
these
many
particular
surface
things,
mount
they are some of the
components.
Yeah,
ones on the
Instro
floor.
has these things that I really want to try out,
Little edge
which
there.
is like a reflow station,
They
but they're
are
portable, so
quite
it's just a
affected
butane torch
by wind from
that
the
you
That's-
just hold.
That's what I want to get. Like, if you have a link
And-
for that, I'll trade you for a link to the
Some of them.
AKG headphones.
I need to see. I should ask.
And there you
Yeah,
have it.
butane soldering
Surface mount
torch.
soldering. Not impossible.
Nice work. And this was, I'm gonna stop sharing that. But this was was this your first time using these tools? Improbable. Or is this like after you sort of worked out kinks? A third time. That's okay. Yeah.
time.
I mean, that
Great.
reduces any intimidation I have. That's really cool. All right. I think that concludes today's What the Heck.
Yes. One question. June Modular. Is that?
Yeah. Well, I
Not
wanted to
now.
talk about that. I've been
Yeah.
remiss in my duties and drop the ball in starting a poll. So what I would like to do is start a poll immediately after this that goes for the next few days. And it was between Drone, like
Drone, like
drone
drone,
mixed with
June.
June, and there was another entry that
Chip June as well.
Chip June. Yeah,
Chip
so let's.
June
Ah,
for chip
Is it okay if we
tunes.
just vote on those two for June? Because I'm very fond of those.
I guess anyone else could someone else, maybe you could give people a couple hours just to submit any other ideas if
Yeah,
anyone else
I'll
would
start
like.
with that.
But we can start with those two. You
And
can
I'm gonna.
edit the poll to add.
Well, I'm not going to start the poll yet. I'm just going
That's
to
good.
write like. Actually, you'll do some entertaining, and I'll do some writing.
Yes. Chiptune. Chiptune would be fun. I have a Game Boy MIDI thing.
I don't think I have anything.
Well, I mean, if you've got a basic VCO, like that's
Yeah,
chiptunes
right.
there. It's really easy. I have a Caster and Pullets makes really fucking good chiptune noises.
Yes.
Because it's got kind of a crunchier. It's
Yeah, you can
pulse
also-
width.
You can also go for like just the way that chiptune music uses like arps, for example. Like
Those
super fast arps. Yeah.
I was actually doing kind of chiptune arps on this thing this morning because you're not supposed to, but you can crank the octave up really high and then just move the internal clock really fast. So it goes like diddle-diddle-diddle, and then you can transpose it up because it's just like you take a major chord, you arpeggiate it, and you make it really, really like snappy, you know, on the envelope. And then you just arpeggiate it, and then you just transpose it up. So it's like,
Right.
and it just, you know. So that's a fun technique. There's also the chiptune use of portamento. I have a hash on my mini log I call Chiptune Pow. That's just kind of a really big. It's like I think it's like a three octave unison of just square waves with no real modulation on it. But it's got a really big pitch bend, so you go V, which is a very kind of, if you listen to a lot of chiptune music, you know, like
Yeah.
Trash 80, who is the guy behind the Dirty Wave, the M8.
Yes.
He's a classic chiptune artist, and he uses that a lot. Fear of Dark is good. Chipsel as well.
I also
And
find you can get. Oh, go ahead.
to balance sort of the hype for chip tunes here, you can say that the June drone thing, you could basically just look at what happened yesterday with the drone day. I mean, lots of inspiration there, and I mean, if I wouldn't fault anybody for like just re-recording their drone and just submitting it under the hashtag.
We have very low standards here, just having fun. So if you want to resubmit, that's totally cool. I think both sound equally fun. And I got really excited about chip tunes because while I don't make a lot of chip tunes, I think it's fun to make chip tune sounds and like learn what has like a chip tune vibe. And one of the things that I worked out on one of my other little boxes is like, an exact 1 octave like square wave LFO on a pitch makes just about any sound chip tuney, like a fast LFO. You get
Yes,
that, like,
or
some
if you
sparkly,
you tune it to a fifth as well is a good interval. Just like tuning that
Yes.
up and down of a square wave LFO to pitch is a great like.
or like a fast arp kind of. If you have the ability to do that, or if you hit a key and it does like a quick like third and fifth arp. That goes up a few octaves or down or whatever it is, that also does very nice.
I
chip
wonder
tuning feels.
if Ornament Crime can do that because like I know something that I'm missing from one of the key step 37. It's a feature that only the key step 37 has for some reason, is that it has a strum where you can hit a key and it will strum out a chord. And I want it so bad. I've considered buying the entire fucking controller, even though I do not need it, just for that strum mode, because that's exactly perfect if you want to do like chiptune arps, just like
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I don't know if the Hapax can do that. It seems like something you'd be able to do, like strumming a chord when you hit a key, or it might be buried in settings. One of those things.
I could make it work. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to see if Ornament and Crime. Someone's got to have made like because it's like a burst generator, a precise burst generator, plus an arpeggiator. I guess. I don't know.
I mean, all I would have to do is there's like the hay packs in the pyramid have MIDI effects,
Mhm.
and an example of a MIDI, and you can combine them in different orders. So you would probably do like a chord MIDI effects, which essentially when I push a note, adds a few extra notes to it that are in a specific interval length.
Yeah.
And then I follow that MIDI effect with an ARP MIDI effect. So when I hold down a single button, it does that nice little.
That's awesome.
So
That's great.
totally doable.
Okay, so well, chiptune, Droon, and if anyone else can think of anything good, then pop it in the Modular channel, and we'll maybe make a poll for it. Do it sooner rather than later, since we can work on it soon. But yeah.
All right.
All right.
That was this week's Modular. What the Modular? That's
what the Modular. What the heck? It's back.
It is back on Sundays.
Huzzah.
So see y'all next week with the usual intro, outro, and shenanigans. Probably 5 minutes late. All the usual stuff that fans love. Okay. See y'all. Thanks for joining. I think it was really cool to see the drone stuff. I did not catch all of the drone day yesterday, but I'm definitely going to rewatch. I'm going to watch all of it on during the work week. It sounds perfect to work too. So, yeah.
Totally. All right. Cheers.